Hey, what's up, everybody? Give me 1 second. As you know, the standard tradition, first few moments of the stream are just me making sure the stream's actually up and running. Please comment. Hey, what's up, you guys? Rudy, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Man, Dan, how long do you think 20 minutes is? What's up, bro? Welcome. What's up, Jonathan Martinez? What's up, Callie? What's up, Eric's disciple? What's up on the inside? What's up, you guys? Yeah, that was a very long, that was a very long 20 minutes. Bromus, what's up, bro? Welcome to the stream, everybody. Yeah, that took a little bit longer than expected. Sorry about that. I had said like 6 or 7 hours ago, oh yeah, give me like 4 hours. It ended up taking me like 6 or 7 hours to make it. So sorry about that. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Blue Tide TV, what's up, Lilo? Big fan of your content, bro. Keep it up. Thank you, man. I appreciate that a lot. We're just getting started right now. So yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. Today we are talking about Hunter x Hunter versus Jujutsu Kaisen, but more specifically, today we're just focusing on Gon and Killua versus the Jujutsu Kaisen verse, and we're going to talk about like how far would Gon and Killua be able to make it if they were in the Jujutsu Kaisen universe. Would they like clear the entire verse, or are they just going to get like curb stomped by like the weakest of curses? So we'll talk about that. Then I'm going to go and create a tier list that'll show you like more specifically in really crystal clear detail, like who's the strongest Jujutsu Kaisen character these guys would be able to defeat. And then I'm going to go over to the community polls that we did yesterday and read some of the top comments from there. Okay. So the format I have for this is first we're going to power scale like the Jujutsu Kaisen verse in general, starting from the weakest all the way up to like the strongest characters to give you an idea how strong they are. Then we'll scale Gon and Killua and like put it together. Okay. So let's get into it. All right. So first, let's look at the durability. Oh, and feel free to ask any questions as I go through this. Like my plan is I'm going to go through all the Jujutsu Kaisen scaling first, and then once I finish that stuff, then I will like answer all your guys' questions. Then we'll go to the Hunter x Hunter stuff. So don't feel bad if I don't like reply to your comment right away, okay? Because I just am planning on doing the Jujutsu Kaisen stuff in one chunk right now. All right, so let's get into it. So, the durability of the curses in Jujutsu Kaisen is actually laid out really crystal clear for us at the very beginning of the series. And looking at how durable the curses are gives us an idea as to how powerful the sorcerers are that can defeat them. So basically, like the right here is like the official translation, and then on the left was like a scanlation, just so you can see like two different forms of the same thing, basically. But grade 4 through grade 2 sorcerers are really not that big of a deal. If normal human weapons could work on them, going from a wooden bat to a shotgun is enough to take out everything like grade 2 and below. Well, to be more specific, cutting it close with a shotgun for grade 2. So you're like barely making it by. Then with a grade 1 curse, even a tank might be useless. So at this point, they're starting to get pretty durable. And then special grade curses, they are carpet bomb level at the very lowest. With like some scanlations saying you'd need rapid carpet bombing, like implying multiple carpet bombs. But carpet bombs are like some of the weakest explosions possible. Like they're used to take out like squadrons of like cars and stuff. And like some, like if you look up like how powerful they are, some things state that they're not even like building level. So yeah, it gives you an idea of like the lower ends of the durability of the curses. Now there's gaps within the same rank. So for example, the bottom of special grade curses are absolutely fodder compared to the higher levels of special grade. And special grade has the biggest gap within all of these ranks. Now, and this is shown with Sukuna after just having 2 of his fingers out of his total of 20. He looks at another special grade curse as an insect, like it's just decimating him without even taking damage, right? So now, sorcerers, they're assigned missions of the same rank, meaning they're expected to be able to defeat curses that are the same rank as they are. So for example, if you are a grade 1 sorcerer, you're expected to be able to defeat grade 1 curses. And this dude with the glasses, Ichiji, he goes on to say that if you're a grade 1 sorcerer, you'd actually be closer in power to a grade 1 curse. And we see a better example of this with Todo. Todo, a weaker second year version of Todo, was already strong enough to kill 5 first grade curses, even without using his curse technique, and he did this as a second year. Then he went on to kill a special grade curse by himself when he used his curse technique. And after all of that, he's still just a first grade sorcerer. So here's a first grade sorcerer, and it's showing he's way stronger than just a first grade curse, right? So that's like how the rankings work for sorcerers. It's like they range from a little bit to considerably stronger than curses of their same rank. And here's a diagram that like goes into more detail explaining that. Which it's just really just saying the exact same thing I just said. But something that's really interesting is at the start of the series, like before Junpei, Yuji is strong. He's stated to be strong enough to defeat second grade curses, but Ichiji does not think that Yuji would be able to beat a second grade sorcerer. So this is just beginning of the story Yuji. He has like literally no training at this point. He just knows like what cursed energy is a little bit. But it's interesting because it shows you that at the start of the series, like just the moment Yuji like gains access to cursed energy, he's already like a third grade sorcerer. That's the same rank that Nobara was as well. At the very start of the series, Megumi was a second grade sorcerer. So it starts giving you an idea of like where the start of the series power level was. Okay. Then after battling Todo and Hanami and going through numerous black flashes, which like awakens you as a sorcerer after you have experienced a black flash, it like helps you evolve as a sorcerer. Yuji overall just becomes a lot stronger. And Megumi trains during this time period as well and becomes more powerful too. So as a result, even before Shibuya, Megumi and Yuji are both powerful enough to defeat weak special grade level curses. Okay? So Megumi is able to defeat a weak special grade curse using his incomplete domain expansion, and Yuji can do it in his black flash state working together with Nobara. And it's something that Gojo comments on as well. He's like, wow, these guys are awesome. They can beat special grade level curses as first years. So this implies that now, after like Yuji's fought with Todo and Hanami, and he's done black flashes multiple times. This is a couple arcs into the series. It's after Junpei. At this point, Yuji and Megumi specifically are getting close to first grade sorcerer levels of power. You could argue that I would argue that they're not quite there yet, but they're getting close to first grade sorcerer levels of power. And then during Shibuya, this is just actually straight up stated because Shibuya is actually their first grade sorcerer promotion assessment, like testing them to see, hey, are they ready to actually be first grade sorcerers? And at the start of Shibuya, Yuji is like being directly compared to first grade sorcerers actually. They state that his striking power is on par with Nanami, even without black flashes. And then like right after this, we see Yuji beats down a semi first grade curse with ease and like doesn't even really take damage. Okay, so the reason all of this is important is because it's showing you that like as the series goes on, Yuji's growing as a sorcerer. It's not just like outright shown in your face, you know, but if you just pay attention to the context clues, you see he starts at 3rd grade sorcerer level, then is like stronger than 2nd grade, and then by the time it's in Shibuya, he's like relative to the 1st grade sorcerers. Okay, now this is where it starts to get really interesting, and it starts giving you some solid like numbers for how strong these guys actually are. After I finish like this next segment, I'll peep the comments really quick. So like, yeah, don't feel bad if I missed any comments. I'll get to them in one moment. So, Yuji versus Choso, start of Shibuya. This shows us the limits of Yuji's 1st grade sorcerer level power. So here's the thing. This piercing blood technique is stated to reach the speed of sound. Okay? And this speed of sound is so fast that Yuji cannot dodge it based on reaction speed alone. He states it right here. It's faster than he is, even at a medium distance. This is the distance they're at. It's like a medium-ish distance. And it's faster than Yuji is, to the point where he only has a 50-50 chance of dodging it. Like basically he's guessing where it will hit him and just hoping that he's guessing correctly, because it's too fast for him to just react to like he normally does. So the way he reacts to it is by like baiting the attack out, so it gives him a better idea of when the attack will hit him. Okay, so this is showing us that Yuji, who's around, you know, 1st grade sorcerer level of power, with physical strength being his main gimmick, because he's this strong without even having a curse technique, but the other 1st grade sorcerers do have curse techniques. This is showing us that to just about every sorcerer 1st grade level and below, the speed of sound would be very fast to them. And a lot of them might not even be able to react to it. And this is important because 1st grade sorcerers are stronger than a lot of the characters in the verse of Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay. Then Yuji becomes even stronger than this while fighting Mahito, because he's going through more black flashes and developing as a sorcerer. The cool thing about Yuji versus Mahito is that both Yuji and Mahito are both evolving like as the fight goes on. With Mahito being a character who is so strong that he's implied to be slightly stronger than Nanami even before evolving. Like there's really nothing Nanami could do against Mahito's domain expansion, for example. So Yuji, after going through these black flashes and working together with Todo, he's now strong enough to defeat this evolved Mahito when he hits him with his maximum cursed energy and black flash together. So this is the point in the series where a lot of fans believe that Yuji has surpassed Nanami and has become a legitimate 1st grade sorcerer level fighter. And then for people who are like on the fence about that, after Shibuya, Yuji gets even stronger than this by adding finesse to his cursed energy, improving his cursed energy control, and that he just becomes even stronger than he was when he defeated Mahito. So at this point, he is like objectively a 1st grade sorcerer level fighter. He's stronger than Nanami, with Choso, this dude right here, being very relative to Yuji, if not just still slightly stronger. But these guys are both 1st grade level sorcerer fighters at this point. Okay, but there's still a big gap between 1st grade sorcerers and special grade sorcerers, and I will get into that next. But let me see. Let me just peep the comments, see if there's any big questions before I get into the special grade sorcerer scaling. I'm just seeing. I'm not seeing any questions yet. Evil Grew, yo, what's up, Evil Grew? He said, congrats on that 20K. Thank you very much, bro. I appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, let's keep going then. Now let's get into the special grade scaling. Okay, because yeah, we see here, like start of Culling Games, Yuji is solidly a 1st grade sorcerer level fighter. Despite all of this power, though, Yuta is so strong that he effortlessly low diffs both Yuji and Choso together while Yuta is holding back massively. So he actually knocks Choso out without even using his curse technique, not even looking at him. He just like obliterates this dude like he's nothing. And the moment that Rika grabs Yuji, Yuji cannot break out of Rika's grip. Yuji, being a character who the entire series has like prided himself on his strength, has always been hyped up for being really strong. He cannot break out of Rika's grip. Like despite Yuji and Choso being hyped up like this whole video and them being like the strongest they've ever been before, Yuta is just low diffing them while holding back so he does not kill them. Okay? So this shows us that this relative to speed of sound Yuji and his brother Choso are both first grade level sorcerer fighters. They're still massively inferior to special grade sorcerers like Yuta. Like special grade sorcerers are just in a completely different tier, and they can like crush first grade sorcerers even while holding back massively. Like Yuta could defeat a lot of the strong first grade sorcerers even without using his curse technique. So the reason I'm saying all of this is because it's showing you that the speed of sound, something that was so fast that like Yuji couldn't even react to it, it's near the pinnacle of what first grade sorcerers can do. But once you reach special grade sorcerer levels of power, you reach a new tier. And the speed scaling for Jujutsu Kaisen gets a little bit controversial. We'll go into more specific details during the tier list portion of this video. But there's a lot of narrative elements that imply that the special grade sorcerers, these country level fighters, right, people who can wipe out nations, they're relative to the speed of lightning. Okay, here's some stuff that tells you the difference between the speed of sound and the speed of lightning. Basically, the speed of sound is Mach 1 and the speed of lightning is Mach 350. So it's like a difference of 350 times the speed of sound to speed of lightning. But I'll get into that more in a little bit. But this is really explicitly shown with the fight like Hikari versus Kashimo, where Kashimo tries to hit Hikari in the head with a lightning bolt, and Hikari like dodges it slightly and it blows off his arm instead. And then it's backed up even further where we see a semi-awakened Maki. This was before she was fully awakened. She's like halfway awakened. And she solos this is the same Maki who soloed the entire Zenin clan. Many of them first grade sorcerers, including Naoya, whose curse technique makes him one of, if not the actual fastest first grade sorcerer alive. She solos them all, then gets speed blitzed by Mach 3 curse Naoya. Okay? So this is really like painting the picture, like a character that could wipe out entire hordes of like first grade level sorcerers. Even she's getting speed blitzed by Mach 3. Then when Maki fully awakens into her Toji level, like when Maki's fully awakened, it's stated that she's equal to Toji, at least in physical stats. Obviously, she did not have as much battle experience as Toji, or that's what a lot of people say. I guess that could be debated on. But she was equal to Toji in physical stats, and at that point, she's dodging Mach 3 characters with ease. Okay? So it's showing us that the gap between first grade sorcerers and special grade sorcerers is actually pretty gigantic, right? Like as I was saying before, first grade sorcerers are like topping out at like the speed of sound. And then we have these special grade sorcerers and people relative to them like Toji are more like lightning timer type characters. So as we see here, it's like speed of lightning is 350 times faster than speed of sound, or roughly like 100 times faster than Mach 3. Now, I'm not saying that all the special grade sorcerers, I'm not saying that all of them are 100 times stronger than a first grade, But I am saying a lot of them would just beat the brakes off of first grade sorcerers, like without even trying. Okay. And Toji is relative to the special grade sorcerer characters, but is straight up stated to be weaker than Yuta and Hikari. That's during the Gojo and Sukuna fight. Because Toji is stated to be Maki's equal in physical strength and stats, right? Some people actually believe Maki's stronger at this point because they had a month of like preparation time after that. But there's this scene where Hikari states that Yuta and Hikari would only join the fight to help Gojo if Gojo became weaker than Yuta and Hikari are. They don't say anything about we'll join if he becomes weaker than Maki. So this is them telling us that like out of the squad that's like not Gojo, Yuta and Hikari were the second and third strongest, right? And pretty close in power. Okay, that would mean that they're stronger than Toji, and stronger than Kashimo, which we saw because like Hikari beat Kashimo anyway. So, and then the other interesting thing is like they actually never went in to help Gojo, even when Gojo had his curse technique burned out, couldn't even use reverse curse technique, couldn't use domain expansion. So that shows you that Gojo, even like as weak as he could possibly get, was still like considerably stronger than everyone else there. So it shows you that like Yuta and Hikari are basically the pinnacle of the verse outside of Gojo and Sukuna, with Gojo and Sukuna being in a completely different tier all of their own. Like even when they're in their absolute weakest, they're still like considerably stronger than Yuta and Hikari. Okay. So that gives you like a scale of going from like the bottom of the verse to special grade. So next we're going to get into like how strong Gon and Killua are, and then how that would go, like how they would match up against these characters. Before I get into the Gon versus Killua scaling, I'm looking through the comments. You guys have any questions on anything that I went over there? Any questions on any of that stuff, or anything you guys want me to clarify, or would you guys want me to just go on to the Hunter x Hunter scaling, and then we could like talk about it more once that's done? Yeah, I'm not seeing any questions. Rudy says, Yuji in Goodwill was already grade 1. He was keeping up with Todo, who's grade 1 sorcerer. In post Shibuya, Yuji was reacting to Yuta's attacks. So I would say, like, that's a bit of a stretch. He was somewhat relative to Todo, but that was also, like, Black Flash State Yuji. So maybe you could say something. Another thing to consider is, like, did Todo hit any Black Flashes during that fight? Because you could say something like, how many Black Flashes did Yuji hit? I think he tied the record during that fight. I think it was like 6 Black Flashes, or maybe it was 5. So it was like Yuji, after numerous Black Flashes, was somewhat relative to Todo, and like Todo's curse technique was helping Yuji a lot, and they also just had great synergy. So like, yeah, I mean, if Yuji fought Todo at that point, Todo's still just gonna beat the brakes off of him, you know? Because like when they were actually fighting one another, Todo was just training him, and like there was numerous statements where like Todo was nearly killing him when they were fighting each other. Like, I remember there was one scene where as soon as the fight started, Todo, like, tried to punch Yuji, and a cursed spirit got in the way. And Yuji was like, dude, if he didn't go through the cursed spirit first, I think he would have blown my arms off. Like, there was a noticeable gap between them. But Yuji is really impressive, and he is a fast learner, especially when he's, like, locked in with his Black Flashes. So he can perform, like, a little bit better than where he would be at his baseline. But, I mean, you could make an argument that, like, multiple Black Flash Yuji during Goodwill was, like, relative to Todo while he's, like, holding back. But I still think, like, Todo would cook that Black Flash Yuji. But what do you guys think about that? David said that's a coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb. Okay. Well, I'll just go into the next one. Oh wait, T Cole, you said check above. Do you think that speed of lightning meta is consistent with all special grade sorcerers? So I think that it applies to Yuta and Hikari definitely, and then Kashimo as well. And then the other thing I think is that Maki, after the 1 month of training to prepare for the Sukuna fight, I believe that Maki is also relative to Lightning as well. That would be my stance on it. But we can get into that in more detail after the Hunter x Hunter scaling, because there's a few other ways you can look at that. Like if you have a low ball and high ball scale. So I'll talk about that a little bit more after the Hunter x Hunter scaling. Okay. So Esdradus, welcome to the stream, bro. Okay, so let's go into the Gon and Killua scaling. We'll talk about how powerful they are and how this would map over if they were like in the Jujutsu Kaisen verse, okay? So the first thing to point out is that from Greed Island onwards, so I'll put it like this. At the start of the series, very beginning, Killua had a pretty big lead over Gon, just because Killua had 9 years of assassin's training, and all Gon had done up until that point was just like play in the woods. Like the only reason Gon was strong at all is because he had like Jing Freaks' DNA. He's just built different. Like, for example, if you're just a normal kid, like if you have a friend who likes to go camping a lot, right? At age 12, he's not going to have the strength of 10 men like Gon, like jumping like dozens of feet in the air, like just being an absolute superhero of a human being. Like all of that was because Gon is just like built different, you know? But Killua is also built different and had 9 years of crazy training. So start of the series when they first meet, Killua was stronger than Gon. But after Heaven's Arena, and once we get into Greed Island, they become rivals with one another. This is like pretty much explicitly stated numerous times over. One of the simplest ways to look at it is like at the very beginning of Greed Island, they were both weaker than Beanault. One, like working together, they could not beat Beanault even when he was injured. Then, so that shows you Beanault was like considerably stronger than Killua and considerably stronger than Gon when they first reached Greed Island. Then after 2 weeks of just sparring him, they're both strong enough to beat Beanault 1v1. So like that shows you that after 2 weeks, Gon is much stronger than Killua was when he entered Greed Island. And Killua is also stronger than that, like because they both surpassed Beanault. And then almost immediately after that, they do Ryu sparring with one another. So Ryu sparring, here's the panel explaining what it is, but it's stated it can only be done between people of the same strength. Another translation, I believe the anime says it can only be done between equals. And then some like other scanlations say people of the same skill. Basically, it's all to show you that they're rivals with one another. Basically, they're very similar in overall power, but from this point onwards, they more just differ in their Hatsu abilities, but they're like rivals. The advantages Killua has in experience and skill, Gon makes up for with rage amps and unnatural potential, which is stuff that was foreshadowed from the very beginning of the series. Like, Gon, even before learning Nen, broke Illumi's arm just because he got angry. This was Togashi foreshadowing that there's something weird about Gon, where even like before Nen, when he gets angry, his strength just skyrockets abnormally. Another thing that like foreshadows Gon having unnatural potential is if you analyze their dialogue in the Heaven's Arena arc. A good way to explain it is Killua says he first went to Heaven's Arena when he was 6 years old. So to put that in perspective, Killua started his assassin's training at 3. So by 6, he already had 3 years of training. And from there, it took him 2 full years to get from the ground level to floor 200 of Heaven's Arena. Gon gets in there, no training of any kind. Like, the only training Gon ever received was wear some weighted clothing for like a day. Well, I think it was a couple days, and then open one testing gate. That's all the training he's gotten, which is not even really like official training. It's more just like do some push-ups. And like half of the time his arm was broken. Oh yeah, if I remember right, it was 20 days. It was 20 days of him like wearing weighted clothes. And the first 10 days, one of his arms was broken. And despite that, just doing that, Gon got to floor 200 in like a week, like less than a week. Something that took Killua with 3 years of training. It took him 2 years to do. Gon does it in like a week. And Killua like straight up talks about that. He's like, once they reach floor 150, Killua was like, dude, I'm happy for you, but I'm honestly kind of annoyed. Like, you're low diffing all these guys, and it took me 2 months to get here. And Gon's like, hey, bro, don't worry about it. You were 6. But like Gon was 11, bro. It's like he's pretty much 6 as well. Like, that's not, it's just to show you that like there's something weird about Gon. Like, his talent doesn't really make sense. And this has also led people into like theory crafting that Gon might not even be human, but that's more in the theory category stuff. But yeah, the reason I'm saying that is to just show you that these two are rivals with one another, and like what Gon lacks in experience, he makes up for with rage amps and just a weird potential. Okay, even though they're both like geniuses, right? So, here are some feats. Well, let me put it like this. Because they're rivals with each other, their feats can map over to each other pretty well from Greed Island onwards. Especially when you're just talking about their base forms, not using their Hatsu abilities, they're like almost dead even with each other. Okay? So we see during Chimera Antark, Killua is dodging a Nen sniper rifle bullet at point blank range in his base form. He's able to do it at 57 centimeters. This is like point blank range, and it's a Nen enhanced sniper rifle bullet. Normal snipers in our real world range from Mach 2 to Mach 7, and Killua's like effortlessly dodging this at point blank range. Okay, and he also has a statement right before this where he says he can defeat jet planes with jet missiles ranging on average from Mach 3 to Mach 5. And these are like if you just do some quick Google searches, it tells you like how fast a sniper rifle is and tells you how fast jet missiles would be. So the reason this is impressive is because we saw in Jujutsu Kaisen for like all of the first grade sorcerers, the speed of sound, which is just Mach 1, that was like the pinnacle of what a lot of first grade sorcerers can do. And even characters like the partially awakened Maki, like this one, this character right here who took out the entire Zenin clan, like soloed the entire Zenin clan, was still getting speed blitzed with Mach 3 before she reached her full Toji levels of power. So what this starts to tell you is like characters like Poshibuya Yuji, for example, who's a first grade sorcerer level fighter. These guys, like all the first grade sorcerers, they're getting speed blitzed and slapped around by Gon and Killua, even without their Hatsu abilities. Like this Maki would, this Yuji and this Choso, these guys were just getting slapped around and boxed like silly, like because Gon and Killua are like casually reacting to things in the Mach 3 to Mach 7 range, like casually without even using their Hatsu abilities. Then when you factor in Hatsu abilities and their rage amps and their like potential, then they start to become like absolutely cracked. Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit more in detail. So this is like during the Chimera Antark, a squadron leader, Melioron, he's just looking at Gon and Killua and he's like, bruh, I don't know who these two kids are, but they're cracked. I don't want to fight them. Like, they're scary, bro. Like, they're just, like, he doesn't want to fight them. And he's like, dude, especially the one on the left, he has flawless movements. He already looks like a division commander. This is interesting because he like talks about both of their potentials, but he's like, Killua, His potential, he's like, is he like already like a division commander level guy? And Killua notices him even though he's invisible, which is like something that shouldn't happen. This actually kind of reminds me of the scene where Kid Gojo's the first person ever to notice Toji. It's like something that shouldn't happen, but he just does. Then he talks about Gon's potential as well, and he says Gon's potential is like a bottomless pit. And just looking at him, he felt like he was an inhuman beast. The one of the craziest things he says about Gon, he's like, he looks at both of them and he chooses Gon to be his partner first. He's like, you're the guy that I was looking for. And he even says, right here, he says he thinks Gon, if he hits Meruem completely off guard as hard as he can, like if they combine their powers together, like Gon's invisible, let's say Meruem is in Zetsu completely off guard, he thinks Gon might be able to land a fatal blow to him, which is an insane statement. And this is him like without even seeing like how strong Rage Amp Gon is. He had only seen Gon fight like while Gon's chill, but when he becomes angry, he becomes absolutely insane. So here I'm going to get into like some more higher balled interpretations for Gon, like how high the power ceiling for him could possibly be. So for example, we see here Gon gets angry and charges up rock, and he becomes so powerful with it that he's strong enough to one-shot kill Morel. And Killua's right here just sees it. He sees this happening. Everyone is sweating bullets, and Killua sees this happen. Then later in the same arc, Gon is standing in front of Pito, and Killua says Gon's aura is like nothing like it has ever been before. Okay, so like a highball interpretation of this would mean that this Gon just standing here is stronger than the Gon that was about to one-shot Morel. So this angry Gon just standing in front of Pito has at like relative to, if not stronger than one-shot Morel level power. Just him like this. And it's kind of backed up by this statement where Killua says even Pito would not be able to fight this Gon without using Nen. And Pito's like literally like pinnacle of the verse almost. Okay, these are more highball scales, but I'm just showing you this so you can get an idea of like how high these guys' power could possibly be. Like Gon right here, if you're looking at the highball interpretation, this Gon just standing here is stronger than the Gon that was about to one-shot kill Morel. And this is actually kind of backed up by Killua saying like, yo, if you hit Pito with that rock, you'll kill Pito. And if you kill Pito, Kite will never be whole again. And he stops charging up rock right there. So the reason this is crazy is because there's a chance that this Gon just standing here is stronger than this Gon who would one-shot Morel. Then when he charges up rock, he becomes 10 to dozens of times stronger than that. Like, so this Gon right here, this rock might be 10 to dozens of times stronger than what it takes to one-shot kill Morel. Morel being a very cracked, like super well-respected hunter in this verse. Okay, so you're starting to get an understanding of like how strong these guys really are. So just to sum it up, we'll get into the tier list and then we'll have like an open debate and talk more about this in detail. But my scale for it is that Gon and Killua can beat every first grade sorcerer without their Hatsu abilities. But with their Hatsu abilities, they're weak. Even with their Hatsu abilities, they would be weaker than the special grade sorcerers like Yuta and Hikari. And when you're talking about Toji, it becomes debatable. Depending on what interpretation you use for Toji, that you could debate them winning against Toji or losing against Toji, depending on what interpretation you use. But then, when you factor in their strongest forms, Killua in his God speed, he has reaction speed, the speed of lightning, or at least relative to lightning and reaction speed. And Gon is bare minimum relative to God speed, if not faster in his adult Gon state. So Killua with God speed would be able to hold his own with characters like Yuta and Hikari, but once Godspeed runs out, they would beat the brakes off of him. Meanwhile, Kid Gon, even in his angry state, he's not really going to be able to hold his own against Yuta or Hikari. They'd just be they'd be much faster than him and would just speed blitz him and start slapping him around. But when you factor in Adult Gon, however, Adult Gon would be he's relative to Meruem, and with his rock ability, his attack power scales above Meruem's, because it makes him 10 to dozens of times stronger than this form, where him just standing there, he's already stated to be like relative to Meruem, and then with rock, he'd become 10 to dozens of times stronger than that, bare minimum. So yeah, this Gon, the adult Gon, he's stronger than Yuta and stronger than Hikari. Stronger than all the special grade sorcerers, but would still be weaker than Gojo and Sukuna. Okay, so that's pretty much the rough scale for how it would go. And here's just something I wanted to mention really quick. This was just a fun speed feat for Gon. So it's stated with Pito that it takes less than 0.1 seconds from activation for Pito to like land an attack. That's when Pito uses her Hatsu ability. And we see Pito activates her Hatsu ability like against Gon beyond her limit, like out of fear, because she sees Gon transform right in front of her. And she's like, oh nah, this dude is dangerous, bro. Like, and she says right after this, his fangs could reach the king. Like, he could kill Meruem. He's strong enough to potentially kill Meruem right now. Just him, like, right in front of me. So she transforms, uses her Hatsu, right? Not really a transformation. But in this less than 0.1 seconds from activation to attack, Gon not only dodges the attack, but travels like several meters to either right outside of this castle building or like to the doorway of it. But like in that less than a fraction of a second, he's traveling like several to dozens of meters and dodging the attack, and then just standing there like nothing happened. So it's showing you that he's extremely fast. In just this one fraction of a second, not only is he dodging Pito, but he's traveling like large distances too, which is showing he's a really fast character. And then other things show that he's like relative, if not faster than Godspeed Killua during the fight against Postmortem Nen Pito, which is a far stronger version than the normal Pito. Pito's trying to like kill Gon, and Killua's trying to push Gon out of the way. And this Postmortem Nen Pito reaches Gon first and chops his arm off. Then Gon, without even using his Hatsu abilities, slaps Postmortem Nen Pito around like a fodder character. Like, Postmortem Nen Pito is helpless, can't do anything. The moment Gon starts fighting, Postmortem Nen Pito is helpless, gets one shot. Like, he punches a hole through Postmortem Nen Pito's chest without using Hatsu. So it's showing you that he's like significantly stronger than even an evolved Postmortem Nen Pito. Significantly stronger. So yeah, these guys are really cracked. And that kind of gives you an idea of the scale. And next, I would be going into creating a tier list for these guys, so you can see in more detail like exactly where they would line up. So as you can see, I started creating tiers. It's like second grade sorcerer, first grade sorcerer, Gon and Killua tier, because they are like stronger than first grade sorcerers, but weaker than special grade sorcerers. And then adult Gon would be above the special grade sorcerers, all of them, but weaker than the top of the verse, which is Gojo and Sukuna. But before I get into making the tier list, let me peep through these comments. Let me know if you guys have any questions or disagree with anything I was saying. I'm looking at the newest ones first. Rudy said, Gon didn't punch a hole. He used his severed arm to pierce Pito's chest. That is the same thing, my friend. You know, he literally like pierced through Pito's chest with his fist, right? So that's the same thing. Let's see. Look, it's Toodle said, Killua Godspeed would stop any domain expansion. So yeah, the other thing that's interesting to talk about is domain expansions. That's something that holds Gon and Killua back. They don't really have counters to domain expansions. which is like really holding them back from beating special grades for sure. Let me think about that. But something else that would be interesting to think about is that if Gon and Killua were Jujutsu Kaisen characters, they both 100% for sure would develop domain expansions, because they would both be like, at the bare minimum, Megumi level talents, if not like Gojo level talents, right? I mean, narratively, Megumi is supposed to be able to surpass Gojo at some point, even though the story ends without that ever happening. Yeah, I mean, if a fodder jobber like Megumi could develop a domain expansion, then guaranteed Gon and Killua would as well if they were Jujutsu Kaisen characters. But that's kind of a different thing. I'm more just talking about Gon and Killua with their own abilities, like if they fought the Jujutsu Kaisen verse, how far would they go? Okay. Rudy said, it's very different. You can't punch with a severed arm. So Rudy, what point are you trying to make actually? Are you saying that makes it weaker or stronger? What point are you trying to make? Because what I'm saying is, you do realize like Rock is 10 to dozens of times stronger than Gon's normal punches, right? And Gon without using Rock is literally stabbing a hole through Pito's chest. And this is post-mortem Nen Pito, someone way stronger than normal Pito. This shows us that Gon could have one-shot normal Pito without using Hatsu at all. And that's pretty much what happened too. Like, if you go back and rewatch the fight, like, the first kick Gon does to Pito, like, cripples Pito. And Gon is kind of sadistic in that fight. Like, he's on purpose holding back. It's not stated why, but it's most likely so that Pito will suffer more. It's pretty messed up. But yeah, I mean, it's just straight up shown that he's holding back with the final John Ken that he does against Pito, because it's like many times stronger than the first John Ken that hit Pito. And he's doing it without like an arm, like just using the stub of like a stub. Makes a John Ken way stronger than the one he did like at the start of the fight. Like, just adult Gon is an actual monster. Ryan said, can Maharaga adapt before Gon and Killua destroy him? That's a good question. So I would say that they can't beat Maharaga, personally. I don't think that normal Gon and Killua have anything in their arsenal strong enough to one-shot him. So let's think, like, what's the weakest attack that we saw one-shot him? I mean, he was, Maharaga was tanking 15-finger Sukuna's domain expansion for a while. Like, just tanking it. But this was a Maharaga that was already adapting to Sukuna's slashes. So, like, if Sukuna had just done the domain expansion at the very start of the fight, maybe it would have killed Maharaga then, but it's kind of debatable. Another thing that's implied is like the stronger version of Maharaga. So like when Gojo fights Sukuna, Maharaga is stronger. He's a bigger Maharaga for one. But the anime shows like Maharaga changing sizes throughout the fight. So that's kind of a debatable thing anyway. It's not that big of a deal. But Maharaga is shown to be stronger when Sukuna's using it, because that Maharaga literally has like its own world-cutting slash. Like the Maharaga figures out a way to use Dismantle that bypasses Infinity on its own. Like that Maharaga is like soloing, might solo the verse, bro, because like that Maharaga had world-cutting slash. Like people don't really talk about that. Sukuna's Maharaga legit had world-cutting slash and was just a monster. But it was like a slightly altered world-cutting slash, but it in principle did the same thing that Sukuna's did. But it's more like a world-cutting slash just for Gojo, but it still had a dismantle, right? And it was just a monster. I personally don't think, like, even if Gon hit it with rock, I don't think that would kill it. Like, but the reason I was bringing that up is because Gojo states, like, he could one-shot it with purple. And at the beginning of the fight, he thinks he can one-shot it with red as well. But the reason he could not one-shot it with red was because, like, Sukuna was adapting to red while Gojo was fighting him. so it's debatable. Maybe Gojo could one-shot him with red, but the thing is, Gojo is just like so far above the rest of the verse that it's like it's not really fair to like compare anyone to him other than Sukuna. So honestly, I don't think they'd be strong enough to. Because like if Gon can't one-shot him with rock, then there's nothing Killua can do that would one-shot him either. Because Gon, like his rock is stronger than anything in Killua's arsenal in attack power. And like Killua's more designed to be like a speed blitz like type character, and that's not really going to do much against Maharaga, who's just adapting to everything and like fighting these lightning level characters. Okay, so and Rudy, I think he was, wait, Rudy had a comment. He was like, I'm trying to say that it's a better feat because it's not a punch. It's basically grabbing a stick and boom, you know? Oh, okay. I see, I see what you're saying. I do agree with that. I do agree with that then. That's actually a very good point. Sorry, because I thought you were trying to say like that it's less impressive. But yeah, so my bad. I was the one misunderstanding you. Sorry about that. But yeah, I agree with you, Rudy. You're actually right there. I think it would be more impressive than just punching. That's a good point. Junior Talk Show said, would they be able to defeat Agito? So Agito is like the combined 10 Shadow Beast, right? I'm saying no. That seems to be too high of a level for them. Yuta says that he thinks that he and Rika would be able to take out Maharaga and Agito, but I don't know if he's right, to be honest. Not Sukuna's Maharaga. I think he might have been wrong, but what do you guys think? Do you think Yuta would have been... Because that's why I say no, because I don't even know if Yuta would be able to take out Agito and Maharaga together. Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Because, like, those are two, like, really high... Like, those two might be the first and second strongest curses in the story. Is there a curse stronger than Agito? Because I think Maharaga... Well, Maharaga's like a Shikigami, right? But if you count Maharaga as a cursed spirit, then he would for sure be the strongest one. And then the second one might be that fused 10 Shadow Beast Agito. Is there any other character in the story that would be stronger than that? Any other cursed spirit? Okay, I'm going to keep scrolling through the comments before to see any other questions that I missed. Bromus said, Leorio grade 1 in raw physical strength by feat. Check out my previous comment. Let me look for his previous comment. Not seeing it yet. Oh, I see here. He said, this is somewhat easy to prove where Gon and Killua's strength is. Grade 1 level Megumi in Culling Games struggles with the power behind 5 tons of weight with Reggie's truck. Leorio, before learning Nen, was pushing 4 tons, and it's fair to say that Nen is at least a 1.5 amp for anyone who learns it. You know, I think Leorio might have been pushing 8 tons, actually, because in the manga, Leorio opened 2 gates. So, like, the first gate was 4 tons. Because like each door was 2. So the first gate was 4 tons. And then if you could open the second gate, I believe you were opening 8 tons. And then if you're opening the third gate, you were opening 16 tons. Because I remember Killua was opening 16 and I think Gon was opening 4. And this was before they even learned Nen. And it was interesting because Gon was doing that mostly with one arm. Like he only trained one of his arms for 10 days, you know. And then the other one for the remaining 10 days. So it's like Gon didn't get the full 20 days of training, and we don't know if he had the rage amp on top. Like, it's interesting when you start thinking about all that kind of stuff. And then how strong would Gon have been in his angry, like, end of Chimera Ant-Arc state? Like, like at the end of Chimera Ant-Arc, Killua opens, like after Chimera Ant-Arc, Killua opens 5 gates, and it's 64 tons. I think Gon would be able to do the exact same thing. So, yeah, it's like Gon and Killua's strength is cracked. Like, I really don't think there's any... I don't know, like, it would be interesting to see, like, how much, like, special grade sorcerers could lift. That'd be interesting. Anyways, let me see. Any other questions that I missed? Ryan said, is Rika a cursed spirit? Oh, yeah, Rika is also... like she's considered the queen of curses, right? Yeah, do you guys think Rika was stronger than Agito? Like the fused 10 Shadow Beast that Sukuna made? What do you guys think about that? And Ryan said that Killua probably opened the 64 tons without Nen. It's possible. But I was thinking that he used Nen, but if he did it without Nen, then he would probably be able to open all of the gates with Nen. Like, the reason I thought he used Nen was because just in my mind, I was thinking that the only one in the family who could open all 7 gates would be Zeno and Silva. And then Illumi probably opened 6 gates and Killua was at 5, like almost there. That was just like what I assumed. Okay, let me keep looking through these comments. Aaron Walker said or maybe it was Laren Walker, he said, if Hunter x Hunter verse fought a war against Jujutsu Kaisen verse, who would win? Probably the Jujutsu Kaisen verse because of Gojo and Sukuna. Like, Gojo specifically, like, if you're including the whole verse, then you're including, like, Dark Continent Beasts, and we haven't seen the limits of what they can do. So if you're including Dark Continent Beasts and stuff, then Hunter x Hunter, because you have characters like Nanika, who is just like a genie, and you just make a wish with Nanika, and she just, like, one-shots anybody. So then Hunter x Hunter verse. But from, like, if you do Hunters versus Sorcerers, I'm leaning towards JJK, just like mainly because of Gojo's hacks. His hacks are really crazy. Like, and Hunter x Hunter characters like struggle against domain expansions. Unless you wanted to say like some Nen ability would counter domain expansions, but I don't really know any that really would. One thing I could think of is like Kurapika states. Well, Kurapika shows that he can heal himself, and I think it's stated that it's a master enhancer ability. So, like, some master enhancers can heal, kind of like reverse curse technique. So, like, maybe some master enhancers can tank some domains, but, like, other than that, a lot of them are getting cooked by those. But, oh, dang. Rio says the audio's cutting out. Is the audio cutting out for you guys? Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, cool. So let me start making this tier list, and then we will go more in detail about it. Okay, so first off, let's just make it easy. I'm putting putting Gojo here. Where's Sukuna? I'll put Sukuna up here. I'll put like that, and then that we'll just have Gojo and Sukuna at the very top. Okay. Then we have the special grades. We have Yuta. We have Kashimo is definitely like a special grade level fighter too. We have Hikari. Hikari. We have let's see, who else is up here? We got Maki. I'll put there. What do you guys think about Toji versus the special grades? Do you think Toji and Maki could beat Kashimo? Because I view Toji and Maki at like the very lowest end of the special grades. And actually, was Kenjaku stated to be a special grade? I think Kenjaku technically would be one, especially with their Uzumaki ability and like how they can like they have access to, I think, thousands of cursed spirits. Rudy said, quick question, Netero versus Kashimo. Netero versus Kashimo. So, let me think. Well, I'd probably lean more towards Netero. Netero's definitely beating base form Kashimo because my stance on it is Netero would beat all of the special grades, especially if he uses Zero Hand. He's beating them all. But like Kashimo's, Kashimo's curse technique, then it starts to get debatable, because that's a really powerful one. But I still slightly lean more towards Netero. Like, Netero's a lot physically weaker than Adult Gon, but he's, like, so strong and fast that he can, like, defeat Adult Gon in certain scenarios. Like, I made a big video explaining, like, how adult Gon versus Netero would go. I also made a video called Netero versus Sukuna is obvious, and that gives you like an idea of like how Netero would do in the Jujutsu Kaisen verse. But I basically, like, if Netero was on this list, I'd have him at the very pinnacle of special grade sorcerers, below Gojo and Sukuna as well. Like below Gon, but above all these guys is where I'd have Netero. Especially with zero hand. I don't think any of them could survive it. But let me know what you guys think about that. So let me start putting these guys up here. So if I'm using like end of the story, then I would say Yuji. What do you guys think? Do you think Yuji ever reached special grade, or was he just like a super strong first grade? It's debatable, you know, because the gap between first grade and special grade is gigantic. Like, I don't even know if Yuji could beat Toji yet. What do you like? These are interesting debates to have. Like Yuji versus Toji. I don't know if Yuji actually surpassed him. Like, he's really close. He might have, but it's debatable. Even end of story. So right now I'm just going to leave him in first grade. But if you wanted to say he was like the bottom of special grade, or like maybe stronger than Maki, these are all like debatable things. But let me just slap these guys in first grade for now. Choso never left first grade. Oh yeah, Yuki was a special grade too. And like Yuki and Kenjaku were like neck and neck even with each other. So yeah, Kenjaku should definitely be a special grade as well. Especially since, I mean, Kenjaku straight up beat Yuki, right? Beat Yuki while Choso was there. So, go over here, please. And I think Maki would be weaker than Yuki. I think it might go like that. Let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think like Maki would have been able to beat Kenjaku? Because they had some dialogue about that. But I think there was also some dialogue where they were saying like they needed Yuta to defeat Kenjaku. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. Mahito was a special grade curse, but was like fodder to the special grade sorcerers. And Yuji's obviously stronger than him. I would. Do you guys think Choso was stronger than Mahito? What do you guys think about What do you guys think about end of series Yeah, end of series Choso's probably a little stronger than Mahito. You think? Oh, and yeah, when I really think about it, end of series Yuji also had a domain, which we never got to see it. That is kind of frustrating. So it's with his domain, end of series Yuji would probably beat Gon and Killua. He probably would, but we never got to see like what it actually does, you know? But without domain, so yeah, like Gon and Killua are above Culling Games Yuji, but end of series Yuji, who has the domain expansion and then hits 8 black flashes, it gets debatable. Like, because he might be like at the very bottom of special grade, like putting him above Gon and Killua, or he'd still be slightly below Gon and Killua. He's like neck and neck with them. But with the domain expansion, I'd say he'd beat them both 1v1. But it's like if Gon and Killua fought him together, they might win. This one is close. Like, if we're talking about end of series Yuji, he could go here or he could go here. Like, but I don't know. Is that a hot take, putting Yuji at the very bottom of special grade end of series? What do you guys think about that? Like, do you guys think end of series Yuji was actually special grade, or do you think he was still just a first grade level sorcerer, just like a really strong one? Because like this was the other thing is Gege himself admits in an interview that he like made some mistakes with his speed scaling. And like the final arc of Jujutsu Kaisen gets a little wacky, bro. Like, the writing in the final arc was not as tight as it was before that. Like, they like a lot of people know that Gege put a light speed feat in there, like without realizing it, because Kashimo's his curse technique uses electromagnetic waves, and electromagnetic waves move at the speed of light, right? And this actually, like, if I'm just being honest, like that one feat kind of breaks the speed scaling because it starts to make actually 0 sense. Because Sukuna like effortlessly cuts through this light speed attack using world cutting slash, and then Maki, this character who's like at best lightning level, and even that might be kind of wank, you know, might be kind of a highball. That Maki is like dodging world cutting slash too. So the way I do the speed scaling for Jujutsu Kaisen, because the reality is, like, the speed scaling breaks in the final arc. Like, Gege legitimately just made a mistake with that. What I think he was trying to say is, like, he thought it was cool to write, like, electromagnetic waves, thinking it was like a electricity blast. I think that's what Gege was actually trying to do, but he didn't realize, like, oh, those move at the speed of light. I think that's what was happening. Because otherwise, Maki went from Mach 3 to light speed in 1 month. That is a difference of like 2,000 times. Like, that would mean Maki got like 2,000 times faster in a month. And it's like, okay, it doesn't really make sense, you know? So, like, a way that I have... it's a little frustrating, but yeah, the speed scaling in the final arc is broken. So, like, you could... I mean, if you wanted to lowball it, you could say all of these guys are actually still just like Mach 3. But that doesn't make sense because Kashimo's here and even his normal form has lightning. So it's better to say like special grade sorcerers are lightning timers. And then if anyone's light speed, it would have to just be Gojo Sukuna. But because like the speed of light is so much faster than speed of lightning, it's like, I think it's like 100 times faster, maybe more. But yeah, the speed scaling in Jujutsu Kaisen, I wish it was more consistent, but it does break in the final arc. But yeah, let me keep going. So Megumi at best is just Megumi at best is just like a bum first grade sorcerer. Because I wouldn't consider Maharaga like his own power, because he never tamed Maharaga, and Maharaga would just one-shot him if he summoned it. Let's keep going. Nobara. Bro, I don't think Nobara ever even got to first grade. I think Nobara just stayed a second grade sorcerer at best. Nanami was like the weakest. Do you guys think Megumi ever surpassed Nanami? I personally think he might have in culling games. What do you guys think about that? Do you think Megumi surpassed Nanami? And then Toji, he's like, you know, obviously equal to Maki. And yeah, let me know, what do you guys think about Yuji versus Toji? Do you think Yuji ever surpassed him? Rudy said Yuji is Yuta level because he kept up with domain amped Yuta. That's, yeah, he's probably at least relative. So that's a good point. Like, because domains amp your stats like buffs in a video game. And that was Yuji. I think that was Yuji before he even hit any black flashes, and he was still like doing combo attacks with Yuta. But yeah, I don't know if doing combo, like jumping somebody together, automatically makes you like equal. Because I actually think Yuta would still like beat the brakes off of Yuji. I genuinely think Yuta could beat Yuji without using his domain expansion. Because Yuta is the second strongest sorcerer anyways. Like, not counting Sukuna, obviously. I mean, like, out of the humans. A Glazing said, Lilo's, why you lowballing Hunter x Hunter so much? I think this is good because this Gon and Killua tier is not counting like Godspeed and not, well, it's not counting Adult Gon. Adult Gon would be above Yuta. And then Godspeed Killua can hold his own with any of these characters. But then once Godspeed runs out, then Killua would lose. And that's if you're using the, like, it's more like a middle ball scale for the special grade sorcerers, saying that the special grade sorcerers are all relative to lightning. Because, I mean, you could make the argument that they're all just, like, all of the ones weaker than Kashimo are just, like, a little bit faster than Mach 3. So that's the low ball scale for Jujutsu Kaisen. The low ball scale for Jujutsu Kaisen is every special grade that's weaker than Kashimo is, like, in between Mach 3 and the speed of lightning. So slower than lightning, but faster than Mach 3. So if you wanted to use that scale, like the low ball scale, then Gon and Killua would be, like, right behind Yuki. Like, yeah, if you're using the low ball scale, then Gon and Killua would beat Toji. So that's the interesting thing about Toji is, like, if you think that Maki and Toji are just, like, a little bit faster than Mach 3, then Gon and Killua would beat them using their full power Hatsu abilities. Like, yeah, they would beat them, like, 1v1 using their Hatsu abilities, and if they teamed up, they're, like, crushing them. But if you're using the middle ball scale, which is, like, these guys are lightning timers, then they would beat Gon and Killua. But then the moment Gon uses adult form, he's, like, he's beating the brakes off all these guys 1v1. Drakus, thank you for the donation. I really appreciate it, bro. He said, what did he say? He said, that's a long number. Oh, he said, reason, like, basically 3 quadrillion. Why Jujutsu Kaisen is dumb. It's actually a debate if the main characters are special grade. Also, Gege needs to brush up on his physics. Some whack science in this series. Yeah, I think Gege was just, like, trying to make it sound cool, genuinely. Like, when he wrote electromagnetic waves, I genuinely don't think he realized that was a light speed attack. I think he just thought, oh, electromagnetic, that sounds like electricity to me, and just wrote it. Like, I really think that's what he was doing. So Mahito, evolved Mahito, I think Choso, end of series Choso would beat him because Yuji beat him back in Shibuya, but that was Yuji with Todo together, to be fair. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that Choso could 1v1 evolved Mahito end of the story? Let me know what you guys think about that. Let me see. I saw someone said glazing, I think. Oh, yeah. Taishon said, oh, no, he said, nah, a glazing. I thought you said, nah, you're glazing. But he was talking to a glazing. Oh, okay. Let me keep going here. Jogo, bro, there's not a single special grade sorcerer Jogo could actually defeat. Like, they all beat him. Like, okay, and then this is where it gets debatable. Like, this is where I really start wondering if Yuji is really a special grade or not. Because it's like, could Yuji beat Jogo? End of story? Could he? Like, it seemed like Jogo's weakest... Jogo was kind of like a glass cannon, was kind of what I saw. Because, like, Gege has this statement where he's like, if Goodwill Yuji hit Jogo with, like, 7 black flashes, Jogo would die. But, like, Hanami could take it. And I'm like, wait, this is just, like, fodder. Like, second grade sorcerer level Yuji. What do you mean that would kill Jogo? Like, it seemed weird to me when I read that. Especially when you see Jogo, like, survives attacks from 15 finger Sukuna, you know? I don't know, bro. Sometimes the scaling gets a bit wonky, but honestly, what do you guys, I mean, in my opinion, I always thought that Toji would beat Jogo, but let me know if anyone disagrees with that. Okay. Hanami who was stronger between Hanami and Jogo? I mean, Hanami had more durability, but Jogo had, like, more attack power, so it's debatable, right? But I mean, if these two were to fight, you would think that Jogo would win because he's like fire and Hanami's like plants. But I don't know. Maybe that's some headcanon. But yeah, I think this is like solid enough to give you an understanding of like where Gon and Killua would be. And yeah, okay. Awesome. So I think this is like decent enough to give you guys an understanding of like where Gon and Killua would be in the verse if we're using like the middle ball scale interpretation of both stories. Like the middle ball scale for Gon and Killua, it's still comfortably putting them above all the first grade sorcerers. Oh, but actually when I think about it, they can't beat Jogo because of his domain expansion. Like Jogo's domain expansion would cook them both. So yeah, that domain expansions are a problem for Gon and Killua. So like even though they have stats like way beyond people like Mahito, like Gon and Killua's stats are a lot above Mahito's, but his domain would one-shot them, right? So like domain expansions are a problem. So like Gon and Killua are stronger characters than Mahito, but that domain expansion would just kill them. You know, so based on stats, like Gon and Killua are above them, but Mahito would actually kill Gon and Killua both, even if they worked together. Unless like they managed to kill him so fast that he can't get off his like 0.1 second domain. But it's like, it's just Hunter x Hunter characters don't really have a defense against domains. Urarame was a special grade level sorcerer too, I think, and stronger than Jogo for sure. Or actually, is this a debate? Like Jogo versus Urarame? I always thought it was Urarame was stronger. Oh, and Urarame was probably stronger than Yuji too. And wait, didn't they say like the only one who could fight Urarame was Hikari in like Yuta? So maybe Urarame is like... And actually, who was stronger between Urarame and Kenjaku? There's so many like interesting matchups in JJK. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting ones. But yeah, this is basically like where they would be based on stats. And Itadori, like some of these can go either way. Like you could say maybe Jogo would beat Yuji, but I don't know. It's tough. Like Jogo's kind of more of a glass cannon. And like Gon and Killua, I think they would lose to Jogo the moment he pops the domain. Do you guys think Jogo could kill Gon and Killua without his domain? Because I'm not sure if he could. Like, they might just speed blitz and beat the brakes off of him. Oh, Gigas, thank you for the donation. He said, post-awakening teen Gojo versus adult Gon, Godspeed Killua, Prime Netero, and post-Rose Meruem. Who you got? So teen Gojo's fighting all of them together. Probably still just teen Gojo, because like they don't have a way to bypass infinity. But well, with post Rose Meruem, if he like one of the things that makes Meruem broken is like not only like is he so smart that he can basically see the future, but like he gets stronger when he eats like a living creature. So like if he were to, let's say he ripped off Gojo's arm and ate Gojo's arm, he would most likely gain cursed energy, and he might get Gojo's cursed techniques. Like he might learn red and blue reverse curse technique, and he might just have a domain of his own. Like that's what makes Meruem like really cracked. Like we saw the moment he absorbed Poof and Yuppie, he got both of their Hatsu abilities immediately and used it better than they did. So, I mean, the real problem is like Meruem can't touch Gojo. Like there's really nothing in his whole arsenal that gets through infinity. So like with infinity alone, like Gojo's soloing like so much of Hunter x Hunter. Just infinity and like red just blasting people. He's going to get his way through a lot of them, even as a teenager. But I mean, if you give him like if you gave Meruem a cursed tool, like if Meruem had like a cursed tool, like Toji's cursed tool that could go through infinity, then post Rose Meruem would win. But yeah, that is like a bit debatable, to be honest. Like if you gave post Rose Meruem a cursed tool that cuts through infinity and had him fight teen awakened Gojo, that's honestly still like an extreme fight. Like Gojo's cracked. Like Gojo was so strong that he was speed blitzing Toji like he was nothing. So they'd at least be relative in speed to each other. It would be a close one. And if Gojo lands purple, it probably just kills Meruem. But yeah. And that's like awakened teen Gojo. Adult Gojo, there's nothing. There's literally nothing that that even post-Rose Meruem would be able to do. Like, Gojo would treat post-Rose Meruem like he's a walk in the park, just another afternoon, like, low diff him. Yeah, it's just because Gojo's hacks are nuts. He would just, like, absolutely obliterate all forms of Meruem that we've seen. But, okay, so I think that's pretty good for the tier list. So now we're going to go over to the poll that we had for this, and we're going to read some of the top comments. So we did this poll. Oh, and thank you everybody for the donations and all the comments, right? I appreciate you guys for that. But yeah, thank you Gigas and thank you Drakus for the donations. Here, let me give you guys, I gotta give some hearts to these donos. There we go. Okay, so now, and Rudy said Sukuna versus Meruem. That one I want to do as either a video or a stream on its own because they're like very relative in overall stats in like every way. They're very relative in overall stats. Okay. Which actually like leans into why I don't really like the Gojo versus Sukuna fight, because it's like, I mean, you look at someone like Meruem who's like just about dead even to Sukuna, and it's like Gojo would low diff him, but a lot of weird stuff had to happen in the story in order for us to like get Sukuna winning that fight. But I don't know. I made a whole live stream on that already. Anyways, this was the poll that we had done yesterday. How strong would Gon and Killua be in Jujutsu Kaisen? A lot of people said special grade sorcerers, but from the scaling I did, I have them in first grade sorcerer level. Like, well, really above all the first grade sorcerers, but below all the special grade. And then like adult Gon would be stronger than all the special grade sorcerers other than Gojo and Sukuna, right? So let's look at some of these top comments. So Contro213 said, according to Kenjaku, the requirement to be a special grade is being able to take over a country, to be precise, its army. During Chimera Antark, Killua infiltrated areas, fought against military units off screen, and stated that either tanks or jets would be useless against him. So pretty similar to stuff we were saying. So this is before he even thought about Godspeed. This pre-Godspeed off-screen feat and his statement shown that he's capable of fighting most modern armies, especially with Godspeed. Therefore, he's definitely a special grade. Now, I would argue that Angry Gon is definitely above pre-Godspeed Killua, had extremely sharp sense, and could also handle tanks and jets. This might not be stronger than the actual special ranks, but they definitely fulfill qualifications set by Kenjaku and are definitely stronger than special grade 1 sorcerers. Or I think he meant to say they're definitely stronger than grade 1 sorcerers. So, yeah, that's an interesting point. What do you guys think about that? Because, like, yeah, Gon and Killua can take out tanks and jets, but an entire country's military is tough. And even that, like, I don't know if it holds true for characters like Hikari. Like, could Hikari really take out an entire country's military, you know? He doesn't have any long-range attacks at all. He just, like, boxes people. So could he really do that? You know, it's something I was always wondering. He's super strong, but I don't know if he really could take out a whole, like, Hikari himself. But yet he's still, like, considered special grade by the whole, like, fan base. But I don't know. It's definitely interesting. Oh, wait. Special grade 1 is a tier itself, Rudy says. It's like supreme grade 1, like Naoya and Naobito. Okay. And then Randy said, yes, I'd say. Okay. Okay, so some people agree with this statement. Okay, nice. And now let's go to the next one. So we have, their name is, what is this? Leonaris2517 said, the Gon that violated Pito is definitely a disaster curse level sorcerer, no doubt. Yeah, this was like what I was saying too, like that adult Gon is above the special grades. Oh, and this guy pretty much said exactly what I said. Odin said, in between grade 1 and special grade. Adult 1 would be special grade, but Gon can't reliably access his adult form. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I said. I agree with that. Rise Above 2419 said, first grade for sure. There's a massive gap between special grade and first grade. Yep, that's same stuff we were saying. That you need massive hacks to graduate with. Keep in mind what the special grade sorcerers could do. Make a black hole, create infinity, use any power, become lightning, cutting the fabric of reality. Do not underestimate special grade sorcerers. Yeah, I agree with a lot of these here. Yoni 6847 said, there's no way Gon or Killua can take down a nation by themselves. Only Meruem would qualify as special grade, in my opinion. That's a pretty interesting take. And those are like the main top comments. We can also read this one here. It says, Caps Lock 2334-2 said, first grade, they sure are strong, but special grade are usually over that. Maybe Killua would be special grade, as his Hatsu is just great enough to justify it. Awesome. What did you guys think about all these different top comments here? Okay. Let's see. So yeah, it looks like people are having their own discussions. Oh, hey, Decade, welcome to the stream, bro. Sorry I didn't see your comments earlier. And looks like everyone's having their discussions. Anime Monarch, welcome to the stream. And he said, Gon and Killua don't have the AP feats to match a special grade. I actually agree with that. Glazing said, bro, my comment didn't show up. Oh no. So sometimes YouTube has like a built-in filter system. Oh, Rudy's heading out. See you later, Rudy. Have a good day, bro. Any other questions or comments that I should respond to? Oh, Nicholas Bodo, welcome to the stream, bro. Nicholas said, Crollo and Hisoka special grade tier. Good question. Where would Hisoka and Crollo be in JJK? So like they're both stronger than Gon and Killua by a good margin. That is tough. Like, oh, okay. So if Hisoka and Crollo were in here, dude, that I'd have to really think about that. But like off the top of my head, I would say that Yuta is stronger than Hisoka and Crollo. I think Yuta's stronger than them. I think Kashimo's stronger than them. Kenjaku, I think, is stronger than them. They might be able to beat Toji though. So they might be at like the very, very bottom of special grade. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that Hisoka and Crollo could be special grade sorcerers? I think if they were, they'd be at the very bottom. Like just about dead even with end of series Yuji. Ryan said, Lilo, I would like to know how much a difference reverse curse technique matters against Gon and Killua. Good question. So yeah, reverse curse technique is pretty broken because like people who are really good at it, they can regenerate whole limbs and stuff. But like for the most part, the only people that were really good at reverse curse technique were all the special grades. Like who was a first grade that even had it? Like Nanami didn't have it. Did Toto have reverse curse technique? I don't think Toto even had it. I think like only the special grade sorcerers and then that one girl, Shoko, had it. But Shoko isn't really like a fighter type. So it would more just matter against like if they're fighting cursed spirits. But also cursed spirits have hacks. So like I was saying earlier, like characters like Mahito and Hanami, like Gon and Killua scale above them. So like if they fight without domain expansion, Gon and Killua would be able to beat them down badly. Even using reverse curse technique, Gon and Killua would be like significantly to many times faster than like characters like Mahito and Hanami, and would just blitz them to the point where like they could overwhelm them and kill them before reverse curse technique saves them. Especially if Gon and Killua like jumped Hanami the way that Yuji and Toto did, and Hanami doesn't use domain expansion, Gon and Killua are like obliterating Hanami. And they'd cook Mahito as well. But yeah, reverse curse technique wouldn't matter too much because like most of the people who have it like could beat them anyway. Like people like Yuta or Hikari. But yeah, domains are really busted. Yeah, I agree, Randy. Like, domains are quite the hack. But all right, guys, I think that is everything for... Oh, wait, did I miss a dono? Oh, I missed one donation. Drakus, what's up? He said, one thing that irked me about Jujutsu Kaisen, negative energy squared equals positive energy. I understand that technically it works, but A, negative energy realistically would be anti-gravitational. B, it's like saying two wrongs make a right. Negative energy. So is that like how the law works? In physics, I'm not sure exactly like what the formula is that creates gravity. Like I know that there's different formulas that use gravity, but I don't know like a mathematical formula for like calculating something's gravity on the top of off the top of my head. But I do like one thing. The way I interpreted it was like Gojo was just saying like cursed energy is negative. So like in math, if you have two negative numbers and multiply them, it becomes positive. So that was how I interpreted it. But I never thought about it from like a physics equation standpoint. Glazing said, I'm still raging from the fact you didn't make Hunter x Hunter solo. Yeah, I mean, Adult Gon would cook all the special grades, but just would still lose to Gojo and Sukuna. JR Talk Show said, is Hisoka and Chrollo faster than Killua? I would say that they're faster than base form Killua in terms of like reaction speed, but Godspeed Killua is faster than both of them. However, we don't know all of Chrollo's abilities. Like Chrollo could have like a speed, he could have like a Godspeed of his own in that book for all we know. But another thing is like post-mortem Nen Hisoka has gained more speed now. His foot is made out of bungee gum and he uses it to like increase his speed as well. So we don't really know Hisoka's top speed anymore, but I would put him above base Killua for sure. But I still feel like I guess it's headcanon because I can't really prove it, but I feel like Godspeed would still be faster than post-mortem Nen Hisoka. But Togashi might prove me wrong. And Chrollo, we have no idea what's in his book. He very well could have a speed type ability in his book. He could have like his own Godspeed in there. Oh, I also found a panel on in the Hunter x Hunter manga. If you read chapter 123, the cover page of that channel actually lists out all the conditions to Chrollo's ability. I'll post it as a community post because I just found that for the first time today. I thought like, because Chrollo, his ability lets him steal other abilities, and like he said that it's like a 5-step ability. He has to fulfill like 5 conditions to steal abilities. But I thought that it was always just left a mystery. In the anime it is, but in the manga they literally list it as the cover page of chapter 123. I'll post it as a community post later. Oh, and also my friend Lenny, he made a Discord for this YouTube channel for Lilo's Adventure. He made a Discord for it. So would you guys want to be in that? Like, is that something that's interesting to you guys, like being in a Discord chat? Because I'm planning on posting that too. Like I'll post that today, like a link to the Discord. So if you guys ever wanted to hop in and like have debates there, and then some people might even be able to like join in these live streams as well and like join in the discussions. That's what it would be for too. Dope. Okay, a few people are saying yeah that they'd want to be in the Discord. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'll post the link to that today too. He made some like cool cover art for it. It's pretty sick. So yeah, I'll put that in there too. Anime Monarch said the new Hunter x Hunter game is releasing July 17th. That's going to be fun. It just disappoints me that it looks like straight up PS2 graphics, but like it's a 2D fighter. I'm happy that it's a 2D fighter because those tend to have like more crisp mechanics than arena fighters. So that should be sick. It should be fun. But it's like I'm hoping that game's gonna be like $25 because it literally looks like it was made in 2005, bro. But let me think. Was there anything else I needed to announce? This week, the video I'm posting this week. I'll be honest, I have a ton of homework I have to do, bro. Bro, it's President's Day, and I still have class, bro. My teacher screwed me over, bro. I still have class today. I have one class, and I'm just like, why didn't he cancel? Why is he so committed to the academic game, bro? I'm trying to enjoy my holiday. But I actually have to go to class, like, right after this, bro. It's kind of lame. I don't want to go. I have to go and learn. But that's all right. I enjoy learning, I guess. But oh, it's just so sad. I opened up my class schedule for the day, and it said I still had class. I'm like, what is going on? No, bro. But what I was saying is this week I'm posting Kurapika versus the Fourth Prince. I started writing it last night. And basically, like, I'm just going to go into detail about, like, how the Fourth Prince's abilities work, and then talk about, like, how strong he is right now, who are some people that he could defeat, and then talk about, like, what's the max potential he could have in the future. And I'll do it, like, low ball and high ball, like how I usually do. Because since Hunter x Hunter's unfinished, like, that's a good way to give a narrative estimate, like something that fits the patterns of the show that we've seen up until now, and then do a low ball, like the lowest possible, and then a high ball, like a reasonable exaggeration. So that way you give people a range of like, oh, he could be around here or up to here, you know. So I'll do that. I think that'll be posted like Saturday, and I want to just keep doing live streams like this too, and yeah, it should be cool. And I also started playing Street Fighter 6. Like, I did everything I wanted to do in Sparking Zero. And that was a fun game that I used to stream in the nights. But, like, I really did do everything I wanted to do in that game. Like, I fought, like, some of the highest ranking guys, and it was just genuinely sad, like, how many of them just cheat at the game. It was so sad, bro. Like, the sad truth about Sparking Zero, when you get to top 100... like 70 of the people in top 100, all of them are cheaters, and it's like I just had no joy climbing the ranks anymore, and I switched over to Street Fighter 6, so I might stream some of that this week just for fun, and I wanted to do like one, maybe two extra power scaling live streams like this, because these are fun to do as well. So if there's any like topic you guys like to see me power scale, let me know. And then after the Kurapika versus Fourth Prince, I was going to do a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure scale. Like, the first JoJo's Bizarre Adventure video I wanted to do would be Joseph Joestar. He's the one from part 2. I wanted to power scale him against Jotaro and see like how that would go. And then I wanted to do Jotaro versus Giorno. Those are the main two I wanted to do just for fun and see how they do on the channel. And if those do well, then I would start like power scaling more JoJo stuff, like side by side with Hunter x Hunter stuff. Like, I'd probably do like every other week. So like 1 week would be Hunter x Hunter, next week would be JoJo. Because, bro, like the last video I did, bro, that thing was an hour long and it took me 2 months to make. But I realized, like, if I make my videos like 5 to 8 minutes, at most like 10 minutes, then I can get one out like every 8 or 9 days. So that's what I want to do moving forward. Like, realistically, what I'd love is if I could get one video out each week, but it's just tough with school and stuff. But yeah, if everything goes great, we'll get the Kurapika video out, and then maybe the Joseph versus Jotaro video out this month. And then like a couple more live streams. So if there's any, a Glazing said, Lilos, if you put anyone in JoJo's above Hypersonic Plus, I'm gonna find you. Hey bro, they do have light speed feats in that verse, man. I'm telling you. They got like, because I'm pretty sure in the manga it's straight up stated that Jotaro punches at the speed of light, and then Polnareff has feats where he's like traveling at light speed, like reaching areas before a light beam does and stuff. Like there's some crazy stuff in the JoJo manga. JoJo is kind of like One Piece, where a lot of the strong characters are like faster than light, but like their attack potency is not that crazy. Like their destructive ability is not that big and their attack potency is not that crazy. Like I think Jotaro has stated like he can punch through diamonds, but that's really like not that big of a deal in most verses, like at all. Anyways, what else was I gonna do? I think that's everything. Another thing I was thinking was I might do a Full Metal Alchemist live stream too, like just for fun, because I had been wanting to rank, like do a tier list for Full Metal Alchemist characters, like power scaling them all. Like I did one Full Metal Alchemist power scaling video, just one. It was the Ed versus Al all arcs. And like my mindset was I just wanted to do only that one. But Full Metal Alchemist is just a dope series, and like every now and then I just go back and watch some episodes. I'm like, oh, I could make some live streams out of that. Cause like that's kind of how I make my videos, is like the ones that I think people would really want to see, I pour time into and make them an actual video. But ones like concepts like this, it's a fun concept, but like if I made this a full-length video, right, it would take me probably like a month to make, and then I think it would only get like 8K views because like Jujutsu Kaisen is not the main thing on my channel. Like Hunter x Hunter is the main thing, and like I would like to have a second manga that I also power scale. It used to be One Piece. One Piece is fun, but like One Piece power scaling is very, very like basic. Like One Piece power scaling, it's just like, is he stronger than him? Yes or no? There's really nothing else to it. It's like, is he faster? Is he stronger? If both of those are yes, okay, he'll win. But like with Hunter x Hunter, it's like you have to factor in like how much Nen capacity they have, their Nen output, their experience, how smart they are. It's just much more fun when you have more variables than just strength and speed. And I was looking for another series like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, JoJo's pretty good. Like JoJo is like that too, so that's why I wanted to try that next. And Jujutsu Kaisen, it's like it's like that up until the Gojo versus Sukuna fight, and then everything after that, it's kind of like the Transformers movies. Like it just kind of becomes like just cool, turn your brain off and enjoy the punches. So yeah, I mean, I could make a full-length video on Jujutsu Kaisen stuff, but I think I'm just going to save Jujutsu Kaisen scaling for live streams. But I was thinking about experimenting with an analysis video, like just picking one character and analyzing them and making that a full length. But I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I got a lot of different ideas and stuff. But I love One Piece though. That one's insane. And I also want to do a live stream talking about the most recent 2 One Piece chapters because they're crazy. So I'll probably do that this week too. Maybe, honestly, maybe tomorrow night. Might just do that. The last 2 chapters that came out were nuts. So I might do a video just theory crafting on that. Oh yeah, and one other thing. What made me make this live stream, do you guys know the YouTuber Restless Gambler? I was talking to him yesterday, and we were talking about doing a collab video together, like a Hunter x Hunter JJK collab. So like we were talking about like how Gon and Killua would do in Shibuya. I was talking to him about that yesterday. So I wanted to do this live stream to like test out different power scaling ideas and just see like how people respond to them. So this was kind of like practice for that, basically. But yeah. And based on all the scaling you guys heard today, was there anything that like sounded like a hot take to you? Because if there is anything that sounded like a hot take, then I would like polish that up more. Bro, miss the fight starts and Sanji disappears. Yeah, bro. I remember that was something that he used to say in his beginning. Dude, Restless, he's like very talented at making YouTube videos, man. He's very talented because like right away as he first started making videos, he was already getting like 100,000 views like off of his first one. And I'm like, yeah, this guy's built different for, he's like, there's certain people who are just meant to do YouTube. Like they just have everything you need to do it well. Like they're just the right person to do YouTube videos. And he's one of those guys. Like for me, I like in the beginning, like was not very good at making videos, but Restless, like his first video he posted was already good. I'm like, dude, this guy's he's legit like talented at this stuff. He also works really hard at it. So like he's someone I'm very confident Restless Gambler is going to have a huge YouTube channel. Very confident because like the dude, he's talented and he works hard. Like when you have that combo, you're going to succeed. So like if you look at his upload rate, it's pretty crazy. That dude posts like twice a week. I don't know how he does it. The dude's kind of built different for that, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm Dust Games said, only hot take is that Kashimo's curse technique doesn't make him faster than lightning. Dude, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, the way I just talk about Kashimo's curse technique, I say, if you want to say Kashimo's light speed, that is a highball. Because I don't think that's what Gege meant. Because it's like, if Kashimo really is the speed of light, and Sukuna chopped through it with World Cutting Slash, then we see Maki dodges World Cutting Slash. We see what's his name? The strong first grade. His name's Kusakabe, right? The one who's kind of like Shikamaru. He like, doesn't he dodge it too? Like, so you're telling me Kusakabe's light speed, bro? It's like, it starts to get really weird. But also one thing you could say is like maybe Sukuna's on purpose shooting World Cutting Slash way slower just for them. It gets so weird. That's why I'm saying like the final arc of JJK, like from Gojo versus Sukuna onwards, is kind of like, it's kind of like a Transformers movie where you just watch it for the punches. Because it starts to not make sense if you really analyze a lot of different things, but it's still just like cool to watch. But everything up until that point was super solid. Like, and even those fights are really cool to watch. Like, they're all extremely hype. It's like watching Darth Vader, like, maul a bunch of Jedi, basically. But like, when you really think about it, you're like, wait, why is this stuff happening? Like, some of this doesn't really make sense, but it's so hype, you just enjoy it anyway. Like, when it gets animated, that whole chunk is going to go crazy. It's going to be nuts. Dream Escape said, not really anything controversial. Okay. And Seb TW, what's up, bro? He said, Kusakabe relativistic to Shibuya Yuji Mach 1. That's kind of what I think, too. I think he's kind of like a Mach timer type dude. My friend Lenny just messaged me on Discord. He said, dude, drop the Discord. I will, bro. I will. Okay. Decade said Enchanted Dismantle does not equal World Cutting Slash. Okay. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. So there is a debate within the community where some people think that Sukuna was just firing Enchanted Dismantles at Maki, and some people think he just fired them at Yuta as well. My counter argument to that is that kind of breaks the rules of binding vows. So like one of the things it says with binding vows is if you break a binding vow that you set for yourself, you can lose what you gained from the binding vow. So like for Sukuna, if he had to set a binding vow on World Cutting Slash to, okay, and this is in complete honesty, this is some writing that I don't like in JJK. I think it was written very sloppily, but I'll just be honest and explain it, right? So Sukuna, he was missing a hand, so he did a binding vow to fire World Cutting Slash without hand signs and without chance for one attack. That was what the binding vow was. And what he had to do for the binding vow is every time afterwards, he had to use hand signs and he had to use chance before using World Cutting Slash. He had to use those chants. It's like paired falling stars and then some other stuff he says. I don't remember it off the top of my head. But he had to say those chants and then do hand signs and then fire world cutting slash. From that point onwards, that's part of the binding vow. What some people are saying is that they think that he just used the chants and fired a normal dismantle at Maki. Well, by the rules of the binding vow, if he did that, he probably would just lose world cutting slash forever. Because what you need to keep in mind, I actually took time, and I remember I put these all together in one document one time. I looked at every single dismantle throughout the entire series. Never once before the Shinjuku arc does Sukuna ever say those chants. He never says, like, when he's fighting Maharaga, for example, he never says paired falling stars and then shoots a normal dismantle or enchanted dismantle. Even when he sees Maharaga's tanking his dismantle and he wants to use more power, he doesn't say the paired falling stars chant. He never does it. The only time he starts using those chants is after he needs to use them for world cutting slash. So for people who want to argue that he's just using them to enhance a normal dismantle, the reality is that might literally just remove world cutting slash from his arsenal forever. So I don't think that the enchanted dismantle theory is real. Because if he was using other chants, then I would say, okay, yeah, you're right. It's probably just a enchanted dismantle, but he's specifically using world cutting slash chants. And the other thing is, every one of those world cutting slashes, he only does it when he has at least 3 hands. You need at least 3 hands to do world cutting slash after the binding vow. You need 2 to make the hand sign and then 1 to direct the slash. And like when he does it against Yuta, he has 3 hands at least. And when he does it against Maki, he has 3 hands at least. And the other thing, he also shows against Kusakabe he could fire dismantles without moving, which didn't really ever get explained, but but he could. So I disagree with that theory because it's a theory, right? It's not stated by Gege, which once again is kind of a problem in the story. Is like a story where Gege literally would spend like an entire page explaining to you like how Kirara's curse technique works. A character like I said, Kirara, 90% of the people don't even know who that is. Like, Kirara is this character right here, this jobber. Most people don't even know who this is. But Gege spent an entire page explaining how their curse technique works. In a story like that, we don't get a page of dialogue saying, here, Sukuna's just using an enchanted dismantle. You know, you'd think he would say that, right? But it's a theory, and a lot of people believe it because, I'm not sure why, but a lot of people believe it. But I personally don't, but it is a debatable theory. Bromus said, world cutting slash is just a dismantle. The chants are for dismantle, not world cutting slash. I disagree with that because he only, like, if you go through the entire series, never once does he say those chants until after the binding vow world cutting slash. I remember looking through the entire series, looked at every single dismantle he did, like all the ones in Shibuya, all the ones at the start of the series, all the ones against the cursed spirit he fought. Never once does he say paired falling stars and then just shoot a stronger dismantle, even when he needed a stronger dismantle against Maharaga. The only time he's saying it is after the binding vow. Even another thing that like really puts that theory straight into the dirt, he doesn't say it against Gojo ever. Like, you'd think against Gojo, of all people, he would use a enhanced to dismantle, especially when there were scenes where, like, right after his domain broke, you think he would use those chants, right? But he doesn't. But anyways, oh wait, Decade had some more points, and I actually do have to get going, because, yeah, my class is about to start. Decade said, binding vow is chanting and hand signs, which we both agree with, meaning he has to use those pre-qualifications, something of which he didn't break, or didn't use it in a way which was bad enough to lose it. Kenjaku states that losing what is gained is the worst that can happen. The worst that can happen is losing what's gained when breaking a binding vow with oneself. So, Decade, are you arguing that he's just breaking the binding vow and nothing's happening? Like, I mean, this is because it's like these are theories, right? And it comes to these theories, like, the less number of assumptions you have to make, the more logical and more likely it is. Because what I'm saying is, what my interpretation of it is, requires far less assumptions. What I'm saying is, based on what we were told, if you break a binding vow, the worst thing that happens is you lose what you gained, right? Sukuna already put Sukuna, especially for the people who want to say Sukuna's stronger than Gojo, and they want to say, like, Sukuna, his whole plan was to get World Cutting Slash just for power. Why would he risk something that he spent 100+ chapters to get, just to fire off like tease dismantles against Maki? Why would he risk that after he took he already went on this 100+ chapter long plan just to get World Cutting Slash, right? So it's something he really wanted, and, like, stole Megumi's body so he could do that, right? This is what a lot of people who think Sukuna is stronger than Gojo will tell you. They said, oh yeah, all that 100 chapter plus long planning, all this multi-level step planning that he came up with, all of it was just so he could get World Cutting Slash because Sukuna wants power. And then he gets this power and already risks it because Gojo was about to kill him. So the way he saved his life was he shot a World Cutting Slash using a binding vow that made him have to use hand signs and chants forever from that point on. And your guys' theory is that this Sukuna, he literally humiliated himself to get this power. Like, it was so far out of character. This is a guy who's so arrogant, he's willing to kill children if they ask him questions in Shibuya. He views himself as, like, an evil, like he just views himself above everyone else, right? This same dude humbled himself, did a binding, all this planning, all this stuff out of character, finally gets World Cutting Slash, and then he risks it with the binding vow. You're telling me he risked it again just to tease Maki? I don't know about that, guys. I think it makes much more sense to say he was using World Cutting Slash against Maki, especially since he never once used the paired Falling Stars chant against Gojo, never once used it any other time in the series until after he got World Cutting Slash. I think my interpretation of it, that he used World Cutting Slash against Maki, makes more sense, especially when he used it against Higuruma, someone that didn't even inspire him enough to use a Black Flash. But Maki made him use Black Flash. Yeah, I don't think he would risk his losing World Cutting Slash forever just to tease Maki. And why? And also, think about this, guys. Why the heck would he use an enhanced dismantle when he's already strong enough to one-shot them all with his normal dismantle? He doesn't need to enhance it. Why the heck would he do that? Anyways, I do have to get going, guys. This is a fun debate, but I do have to get going. An Anime Monarch said, considering the fact he didn't use chants after his fights with Maki, he probably couldn't use World Cutting Slash again, meaning that your theory is probably true. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely a debate, but that's my stance on it. But I will read through your guys' comments a bit more later because I do actually have to get going to class. But yeah, and I'll post the Discord as a post too. But yeah, that's everything for today's stream. Thank you everybody for tuning in. And yeah, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks again.